And guys, welcome. Thank you. You have found Real Life and Law, guys. If you are on any of the major platforms, you're probably seeing me. I'm an attorney. I've got me some breakfast. So I'm going to try to find a way to incorporate you all into my breakfast the way I do my TT friends. Got a lot of TT friends. So if you're on the TT, if you want a really good long comment, if you got a really burning question, throw it over there on the other platform, and I can listen to it. That's the benefits of these other platforms. They allow you a little more freedom to ask a question, hatchet head. So guys, we will. There's my bots, and there's the notifications. I think we're good. Let's do this. Let's do this puppy, guys. All right. So thank you, guys. So I'm going to eat a little bit. So I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm eating quiet food today. Normally, when I eat on here, when I eat on here, guys, I try to stay away from noisy food because people get really pissy when I eat noisy food. So I'm trying not to eat noisy food. It's been a big day, guys. Saturday, Saturday. So thank you, guys. Let's ask a question, fellas. Come on now. Thank you, Jay. I love it. Yeah, some people don't like the crunch, man. They don't like it at all. So I've got some eggs, made some eggs and put a little bit of chicken in it with some olives. I like olives. So I haven't eaten all day. So, and I worked out this morning. So, this is good for me. This is kind of like this will probably be the only meal that I eat today. And of course, if you watch me enough, I've got me some Earl Grey here. So guys, let's talk. Share share that screen out. Let's get us some traffic. I don't know what you mean. Do I recommend an attorney? If you're asking me, can I recommend an attorney in New Jersey? I don't. I can help you find one. I know some tips on how to find an attorney. We can do that, but you have to book a call. I only put honey in my tea. I put other stuff in it if I don't have honey. I put sugar in it. The chemical burn. I mean, I don't know. Automobile accident. I do automobile accidents and I only do 20%, fellas. You have an automobile accident, holler at me. 20% is all. I've settled automobile accidents in 17 different states. 17 different states. Eggs are hard to eat with a fork. So, guys, let's go. Come on now. The chemical burn. If you had a, I ain't eating supper. If you have a chemical burn at your workplace, you should contact an attorney. If you truly had a chemical burn, thank you. Hey, hey, hey. Someone just gave me a big shout out on the YT. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So a chemical burn might be part of a workers' comp claim. If you got it at work, you're some states you can sue the company and get workers' comp. Some states allow you to do both of those things. I don't know where you're from, but you should contact a workers' comp lawyer. If it was on the job, contact your workers' comp lawyer and they will tell you. I've done wrongful termination. Yes, I have. I do not know if Arkansas allows you to sue both. A local, oh, I'm sorry. Absolutely. If it was a spa, absolutely you should be able to sue for that. Absolutely. Absolutely. How long ago was that spa treatment? Well, he needs to go to a doctor. Go to a doctor if he's getting sick. Go to a doctor and get a diagnosis. That's what you do. Okay, 11 days ago, you should be able to find somebody to sue. You need to document it, take pictures of your face. If you've got any admissions by that party, you need to record those if they sent you a text. If they apologize to you, keep that apology. That's always a good thing because they're going to claim they didn't do anything. All right, FB, we're coming in good on FB. Thank you for that status check, guys. Thank you very much for that. Give me a little status check, wanting to know that I'm coming in loud and clear. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be on both of those streams for about an hour because I'm trying something to edit my stuff and put it up here for my podcast and my Spotify. So I'm trying a few different things, guys. My program, guys, only works if you give me questions. That's the only way this works. You give me questions. Otherwise, it's just me sitting here running my gums. You got to know what they did. Melissa, I don't have any. Well, if your face looks bad, I got to know what it looked like before. If it looked bad before, I'm not laughing at you, I promise. But you got to be able to have those comparisons. I have streamed from that new house before. I've streamed from there before. It sounds like to me you got a doctor problem. Yeah, I stream there sometimes for dinner and stuff. I've streamed there several times. So I'm fixing up a little studio there now. I'm fixing up a little tiny studio. Um, so that way when I go, well, did the lady at the spa ever admit that they did something wrong? Guys, if you're looking in on me on these other platforms, thank you. Oh, good for you. All right, keep that check. Keep that check, and maybe you can get you a lawyer. You should be able. That's a personal injury case. You should be able to get a lawyer. If you want me to write a letter, I can write a letter. If you want me to take it, at least just for about a month or so, write her a letter and try to see if she can negotiate. I don't know what that's worth, though. See, the problem with this is the problem with those kind of issues is you have to value what that's worth, right? So a lawsuit isn't any good. A personal injury lawsuit isn't any good unless you can really place a value on it. And injuries like that are hard to place a value. So they're really hard to value. The big value is what your treatment is, right? What it costs you to get treated, plus if there's any scars. That's going to be a big deal. If there's any scarring on your face, then that's a big deal. But if it's just redness, Aggravation. Well, you ain't got no scars in 10 days now. Stop it. Stop it. You ain't got no scars after 10 days. Stop it. No, no, no. No, no, no. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, 10 days ain't enough, baby. And there's a whole nother thing. The spa you went to probably might not have insurance. If they don't have insurance, you can sue them personally. But if they don't have insurance, you're probably not going to get jack shit. There was someone in the thread just earlier today had sued somebody, got a judgment, and don't know how to collect. So there's always issues with that kind of stuff. Always. I have seen some instances where a provider like a spa, I know I've sued nail people before. I've sued people that do waxings before. Most of them don't have their own insurance. They don't. They don't carry insurance because they think, and there's some value to this. If you're a private business and you don't have anything in your name and you're in business, it might not be worth it to you to get insurance because if you get insurance, someone will sue you. And a lawyer will call, like, this is what I did. The last case I had, some lady had, she had her eyebrows waxed. And there was a legit scar. They left the wax on her face too long. And when they took it off, there was a gash. And then that gash turned into a little scar right there on the tip of her eyebrow. So the first thing I did is I called her up. I said, hey, way to go, niche lady. That's exactly what happens. The niche lady says that's what happens. Someone sues you, they don't have anything when they're in business and they hide their assets. So anyway, I this lady, she was one of those facial people. She did all kinds of stuff. So my client had her eyebrows waxed. That wax was on there too long. When she took it off, she cut her eyebrow and made a scar. So I called up the proprietor. I said, "Hey, my client was in there. You left her a scar," and I showed pictures. Well, she got her friend, who was a lawyer, to call me, and the lawyer said, "Hey, she don't have insurance. You'll have to sue her." So at that point, as a lawyer, I started negotiating down the damages, and we got it down to about $750. But the lady didn't have insurance. Her business did not have insurance because a lot of business people will say that will attract a lawsuit. And there's some, as a lawyer, I have to say there's valid points to that. If you don't have anything in your name and you're running a small business, it might not be worth your while to get insurance. So there's that. I don't advocate not having insurance. You should always get insurance. So, you know, Rhonda, I'm telling you, baby, it happens. If you should be taking care of your assets right now. If you're in business and it's your business, I would try to get all my assets out of my name or get you some insurance. Well, it depends on what area you're in. So thank you, niche lady, for that. It depends on what business you're in. Sometimes, whatever state you're in, some businesses are regulated by the state. And that's one of the things they look for is if you have liability insurance. I've got several business ventures here in Kentucky, had a couple in West Virginia. And some of those regulatory bodies will ask you for insurance. Some do, some don't. I've always insured myself. If someone wants to sue me, I will defend that lawsuit, but not everybody can do that. And I try not to have anything in my name when that's not being me being a weasel. That's just me being practical. When you deal with a lot of people, You get sued. And I've been sued a few times, not for anything I did, but for what my staff did. And that's the worst effing thing in the world. When you get sued because of someone that works for you does something stupid, that does not feel good. Yeah, some people have to have it. You have to show it when you get your license, but some don't. So there's that. It's a real trust is a good idea. You'd have to book. I could write a letter and explain to that person what happened that we're willing to negotiate. We have to put a number on it. We have to figure out how much that's worth. Well, that's true too. They get it and then let it run out. They make that initial payment. People do that with automobile insurance all the time. That's why you should have uninsured motorists. It's $79 to book a call. So, you know, no, I don't deal with the collection. If they settle, they'll give us a check. I won't. But the issue with your case with the chemical, you're welcome. It's an irrevocable trust. If you're trying to avoid creditors, if you're trying to avoid Medicare, Medicaid problems, an irrevocable trust is what you want. So this letter I might write you would go like this. We would have to put we would have to figure out how much that's worth. That's the first question. How much is a burn that doesn't have scarring worth? And even if there is if legitimate scarring, then we have to figure out how much that's worth. And then I write a letter and say, hey, your client, blah, 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 was in your office on this day. You treated her and she suffered a chemical burn. And I will show pictures. And then I would say, if you want to settle this before it goes to court, this is how much we're going to ask for. You got 20 days. If after 20 days I get no response, then you have to get a lawyer. That works sometimes. What I just told you works sometimes, not every time. Most people don't give two shits what lawyer says. Probably around 300 bucks, 300, 350 bucks. It'd take me, if you have all the documents, it'd take me about 2 hours to draft. But most people don't give two shits what a lawyer says. So, you know, sometimes it works, and sometimes it don't. Sometimes people just tell you to screw off, right? Just go get lost, pound sand. That's what a lot of people will say, pound sand. I'm done, Kelly. Yes, you can do a trust. Yep. So there's a lot of different ways, guys. I mean, you got to be real careful. When you threaten to sue somebody, a lot of times they'll tell you to, pound sand. I mean, it just either way. I've been successful in collecting some people. I'd say it probably works about 30% of the time, if I'm being totally honest. I don't keep track, but as far as what I'll take on a percentage, we'll figure out something. We'll talk about it. Usually, if I get, first off, we have to figure out what that's worth. What is that worth? I don't know how much it's worth. To me, from what you just said, unless there's real scarring, it's probably not worth much. Well, Joseph, I don't need pics. You got to book a call. No, don't send me anything till you book a call. I won't look at it. Joseph, I bought I yeah, thank you, Susie. I bought Bitcoin when it was at $16,000, so I'm still good. I bought it a long time ago, about 5 years ago. Joe, I exercise a lot. That's why. It's the only meal I've had all day. I exercise a lot. I burn probably thank you, Susie. I burn about 6,000 calories a week. 6, 7,000 calories a week. Calories in, calories out. I don't know who somebody repost that comment. I don't know what it said. I'm sorry. I'm looking. I can't tell what you said. Therapist. What about a therapist? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, Willis. Somebody in the FB world sent me a comment. I don't even know what they're talking about. So send it again. I'll hear it. Guys, a lot of these comments are coming through my ears. So a lot of comments, they get jumbled. So repost it if you don't care. Mm, I'm never worried about a coach. I always drink hot tea. Uh, Chemical dependency. Thank you very much for what's up, David. I'm working. I'm always working. No, I work my ass off. Guys, exercise, calories in, calories out. I've lost over 100 pounds, man. This is a lifestyle. In some states, you can remove your spouse without their consent. Some states, you can remove your spouse from a deed without their consent. Some states, you can encumber your spouse without their consent. Yes, and that is weird to me that you can make your spouse obligated to a debt. That's crazy to me. I like hot tea because it's better. Someone in the chat says they don't know when to get a lawyer. Apparently, there was a death and there's a will, apparently, from what I'm getting in the chat. When should you get a lawyer? Listen, no matter what your issue is, and I'm gonna say this to everybody, y'all got to listen. Y'all gots to listen. Um, Whenever you think you're about ready to lose money, gain money, or lose a freedom, you should get a lawyer. Get a lawyer when either of those things occur. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. As soon as you can afford one, what? On the YT channel, someone just left me a partial comment. Get a lawyer, guys. Sometimes a personal injury case does not require money down. If your case is good, you don't need to bring no money. Guys, if y'all looking out at me at FB or YT, you see Mr. Superman. I've had this many years. Bought it at an estate sale. That's old school Superman looking at right over here. Thank you guys for the questions. Keep them coming. I'm going to be on the YT and the FB for about another 50 minutes. And so I'm going to drop this down. All right, let's go. Let's look. Take a look. The Man of Steel, boys. Right there you go. And here's an old picture of myself when I was young and pretty. Yes, she made it. She made it. She made it to Knoxville, but they canceled the funeral for next week. So she's trying to get a flight out today. My daughter, for some of you that don't know, her fiance, his adopted father passed away, and so they went up there for the funeral, but they had to cancel the funeral, so she flew from, Daytona Beach to Knoxville, and now they canceled the funeral till next week, so it's a big mess, she's got all those expenses, you know, so she's coming back today and wait. Michael, what a crybaby. I was 36 years old when I got my law degree. Michael, I didn't hear anybody cry. I don't know. She said she was gonna try to fly out. I didn't know they closed it. I don't know. Yes, dog. We've closed on the condo. Yeah, I like it. I like Superman, the man. Thank you, Alexandra. She's staying with her people down there, EJ's people. Thank you, guys. Come on now. What's up, Virginia? Oh yeah, you're good, Alexandra. I think we're trying to. She's trying to. I haven't talked to her in a while, so last I heard, she was trying to fly back. But if you're telling me the airports are closed, I don't know. Same old stuff. Thank you, Virginia. Sweet country girl. What a handle. I love it, guys. I'm looking at all three platforms right now: FB, TT, and YT. Your comments. Thank you, Susie. Tapping is clapping. Joanne, get it on that gym, baby. Get it on the gym. Thank you, Joanne. Guys, I am visually impaired. If you're scrolling through and you don't know, the comments come through my headphones. No, our HOA is probably proud. Our HOA is probably happy to get rid of me. Thank you following me, guys. Thank you very much for the new follow. Guys, subscribe. Okay, you're looking someone in the comments is looking for a relationship, You're getting the wrong place if you're looking for a relationship. Somebody help a brother out. I think he needs some apple butter. We need some apple butter. Well, thank you, thank you, Alexandra. No, we get some apple butter. When you're looking for relationships here, you ain't getting nothing. Well, because my HOA might be proud that I'm gone because I'm not shy about telling my HOA when to kiss my hiney, and I don't think they like that. They're probably not used to that. They're probably not used to an old hillbilly telling somebody to back off when they start interfering with my right to enjoy my property. These HOAs have gotten out of control, and most recently, there's more and more states coming online with laws and rules to restrain these HOAs. But you can't be afraid to tell them to kiss your hiney. I ain't afraid. I don't suffer that problem. I just tell them kiss my hiney, right? You know, it doesn't bother me. Well, Florida is one of the states that's really coming to terms with that, and they're creating laws. They're creating a real there's a new law coming into being soon. So, you know, the older you get, the less of a filter you have. And of course, now I don't now what's up, LP Tyler? Appreciate it. Follow me. Well, someone wants to know, can you win an adoption if the mother is unfit? First off, an adoption isn't anything you win, and it's not anything you win or lose. That's the wrong way to look. But if you prove that the other parent is unfit, you can get the adoption done. But you have to prove first off, you have to terminate their rights. I'm getting from you that you're not the bio dad or the bio mom. If you're not the bio dad or the bio mom, what happens is you have to terminate the parental rights of those existing parents. Two parents, you have to terminate their rights and then you adopt. That's the process. You got to terminate, then adopt. If you live in an HOA, someone is saying in chat here that HOA does not provide them when meetings are held or they don't provide them with a budget. That is a serious problem. So you might think about withholding your dues, withholding your fees, hold your fees in escrow. I'm telling you to hold them in escrow. Send a letter to the HOA. You got to send them a letter. Let them know you need to be aware of when the meetings are and the budget. You are entitled to those things. So first off, communicate, put it in writing, put your fees in escrow. If dad has supervised visits, someone wants to know how likely is it that you someone wants to know how likely is it that you can move out of the state or move period if another party, if the other parent has supervised visits or has infrequent visits. Listen, in most states, there's what we call a 50-mile rule. That means if you plan to move outside of 50 miles away from that parent, you have to notify the court and let them know what you plan to do. You also have to convince the court that it is in the best interest of the child that you move. There's a lot of ways you can do that, but you've got to show that what you're about ready to do, which is move, because when you move, the court will look at that as you depriving that other party of their visits. You can't do that. So put the court on notice, put the other party on notice that you need to move, not that you want to move. Understand the difference. You are asking the court to move because you need to move, not because you want to move. And you have to convince the court that this move is in the best interest of the child. That's what you got to prove. Now, and I'm gonna give you a couple tips. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, so don't go to court. What you've got to do is convince the court that maybe you're moving away to get more family support. Maybe you're moving away closer to other family members so that way it will be easier for you to get a job and provide for your child. That's a good one. That's a good one. Anytime you're moving away for more support, more family support, that's a good one. However, some judges might make you carry a little bit of that burden to ensure that visitation continues. So there's good give and take on this situation, but you have to ask the court. So there you go, guys. That's what you do. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your checks for free. That's the way you do it. A little bit of Dire Straits. The Sultans. We are the Sultans of Swing. I would tell my HOA to pound sand if that's what they were doing. Pardon me, guys, for the coughing. I'll try to edit that out. What's up, Sarah, in the chat? Thank you very much, Sarah. I appreciate it, fellas. I'm just trying to figure all this stuff out with my social media here. I am streaming on FB, YT, and TT. If you are looking in on me from either one of those platforms, give me a holler. Give me a holler, Sarah. I am staying warm. Jangale. There ain't no Jangale. Jangale. Jangale in the chat wants to know, is there an alimony law in Texas? There are rules for alimony, no matter where you're at. In any state, there are provisions for alimony. You have to meet certain guidelines before you ask for it. A couple of those guidelines are the length of time you were married. If you were only married 6 months, ain't no way you're getting alimony. Sorry for your luck. You ain't getting it. If you were married 5 to 10 years, you might get it. If you stayed home and gave up a career to provide for that spouse and to raise kids, you might get alimony. Okay? Good question. Thank you. Good question in the chat. I do. Someone wants to know, do I do motor vehicle accidents outside my states of West Virginia and Kentucky? To answer that question, yes, I do motor vehicle accidents. If you've had an accident and you were hurt, and if it wasn't your fault, I've settled automobile accidents in 17 different states. If you had insurance and you were hurt and it wasn't your fault, book a call. We'll look at it. But you got to make sure I got to have a police report or an incident report. I got to have that first. I can't talk to you unless I have that, because otherwise we're just wasting our time. If you have that, send it to me. You know how to get me. How come? Won't you call me? I'll let you call me right now and we'll talk about it. Call me. You can find my number. Call me. We'll educate everybody. If you want to call me, I won't charge you. Call me. You got to let everybody listen. You got to tell me your name. But you call me, we'll let everybody listen and learn. That's a good thing to do, because that's too much. I'd like to help you, but there's a lot of things I need to know. And it's too much give and take on these little small chats. So that way I can verify whose fault it was. That's why. You want the reports that you can verify all that stuff. You got to be verified, bona fide. You got to be bona fide, as they say. Got to get the bona fides up. That's why you need to report. You should be able to get that. You're entitled to it. If you don't have it, I can't help. That's the way it works. Always need the instant report. I'm showing my undies. All right, guys. Come on now. Tap, share, follow, guys. I do accept the little GIFTSs if you see them there. Help a brother out. If you want to subscribe on my TT channel, please do that. That helps me do what I do. Yeah, that's why I did that. I told him to call because I knew I can I can I can tell someone's pulling my leg. I can sniff that out real quick. You don't know how many times people on a live will say that. I didn't fall off the truck yesterday. The reason I ask for the report, lawyers can get them, but I don't want to mess with that. I don't want to waste my time. If you've got a report, just send it to me and I'll look at it and then I'll call you. You ain't got the report, I can't waste my time. And I'm not going to waste your time. That would be silly. We could talk for an hour and then I'd be wasting your time. Just send a report. If you were hurt, you've got insurance. And if they have insurance, that's what I'll be able to tell too from the police report. Got all kinds of information lawyers can use. And if you don't get it, it makes my job a lot tougher. And I don't want to make my job tough. I'm tired of working hard. I want to make my job as easy as possible. If my job is easy, then it'll be easy for you to get the money that you deserve. And by the way, guys, just as by way of advertising or commercial, I'm working with the Lanier Law Firm. If you know someone that's been injured because of silicosis, exposure, rock dust exposure. If you know somebody that's been diagnosed with silicosis, we can help you out. The Lanier Law Firm is the best in the country for asbestos related cancer, mesothelioma, silicosis, any of those things. You please send me an email in the subject line. Put silicosis, put meso, put asbestos in the subject line, and I will give you a call back. The best in the country. Take a look at his webpage. Take a look at his webpage, Mark Lanier. You'll be impressed. I promise you. Guys, when you see me put my earphones off, I cannot hear your comments. So I'm visually impaired. So when you see me take my headphones off, I cannot see or hear your comments. So thank you, fellers. Appreciate it. Yeah, you can contact me through an email. What's up? Thank you. Work smarter, not harder. What's up, Cave? How are you? What's up, my brother? Got a bunch of people in the chat. Okay. Well, we did not get a pile of snow here in Kentucky. Someone in the chat wants me to explain the importance of getting uninsured, underinsured motorists. Yeah, and you probably will hear it in the chat from time to time if you hang around long enough in any of my platforms, you will know. And I do this on um, some of my content. You will hear me talk about carrying uninsured motorists. About a third of the people that you meet on the roadway either have no insurance or not enough insurance. If you need to take a look at your policy and see if you have UIM, uninsured, underinsured motorist protection, because if you get into an accident, someone causes you injuries and they don't have insurance, and if you don't have UIM, you're screwed. You're screwed. It happens about once or twice a month. I'll get a call in the office or on my phone, someone telling me that they were hurt in an accident, but the other party didn't have insurance or they didn't have enough insurance and they did not have UIM. If you don't have UIM, you're screwed if that other party doesn't have insurance. It's a big deal and it's cheap, relatively cheap on your policy. It might raise your policy about $500 a year. It's well worth it. Well worth it. You can ask a legal question in the chat. That's what I'm here for. My name is Eugene. I'm an attorney, fellas. I'm also an entrepreneur. I help people start businesses. I've been a prosecutor. I have helped people out with good question in the chat. Thank you very much for that. And I'm so glad that you are here. I don't know where that came from. I'm assuming it came from FB. Got a chat over here. A question is, someone in a relationship sharing a child, they move away 4 hours. 4 hour. They move away 4 hour. 4 hours. If someone does that, whose responsibility? The question is, whose responsibility is it to take that child to see the parent? This is what I will tell you. If they move away and they want to see the child, they need to get their ass back to your court, wherever those kids are, file a motion and ask. I would not. Let me tell you something. That is a dangerous situation. If they moved away 4 hours, when you take that kid out of the state or that far away, they can then, if you ain't careful, they can file abandonment on you. It happens all the time. You're going to take your kid that far away without any kind of protection from the court. That's nuts. Don't do it. Don't do it. If they're telling you you need to bear the responsibility of taking that kid and they did not seek the court's permission, don't even argue about it. Say you're not doing it until they come to court and ask properly. You are not required to take that child unless there's a court order. Listen, because if you do without the protection of a court order, they could take that kid and then you got to fight that battle up there. Don't do it. If there's going to be a battle fought, you want it on your turf. Don't do it. Happens all the time. I just had a case like that not too long ago. Cost the lady about $10,000 to fix it. You lose your kid if there's abandonment. Happens all the time. I see it. No, they won't usually set it that way. It depends on the circumstances. You're welcome. That was a Facebook comment. Thank you. Thank you, FB. Share the screen there, FB. Share it. Let these people know that I'm on here. Thank you. You're welcome. But don't let that child go. Do not take that child. If they want to see the child, they should present themselves in the court that you're at. Don't do it. You will be making a huge mistake, and it could cost you several thousands of dollars to fix it. If they want the visitation, their ass should not have moved. They shouldn't have moved. Your will be good anywhere. Someone wants to know in the chat that they have a will. They made it in one state and they moved in another. Is the will still good? Yes. Yes. But but you will want to update it. You know, it's not really that important, but the will is still in effect. A will is good anywhere, especially if you have property. Property generally will anchor your will, right? If you have a home or some land, that will be your anchor. So there you go. Thank you, FB, for the comments, guys. I'm here. FB, guys, FBYT. I I will FBYT. I will be here at about 9 o'clock every morning. 9 o'clock every morning. YT, FB. Now, if you're on TT, I'm here early. Y'all know that. We go do our warm up show on a TT. We do our warm up show here, and we do the other show after about 9:30. Everybody's falsely accused. Someone said in the chat that they are falsely accused. And I'm not minimizing your false accusation. I'm just saying everybody says they're falsely accused. But now let me give you a little piece of information about these false accusations. If you're involved in a CPS or a social worker case, about 40 about about 40% of the time those accusations are false. But here's a tip for you. Let me give you a tip. When that social worker come knocking at your door, or CPS or DCF come knocking at your door, do not talk to them unless you are ready to talk. Kindly let them know that you are busy, you want to talk to them, but they need to reschedule. Then don't open the door, because if your damn house is a mess, that makes you look bad. You should always have your house presentable. You should always have your house in a situation to where if anybody knocks on your door and comes in, it should be appropriate. Get the damn dishes cleaned, get the laundry from piling up, keep it clean. There should be no alcohol in the refrigerator. If you take medication, they should be locked up in the medicine cabinet. And wash your ass. Ain't nobody wanna come in on you if you're stinking. Wash your ass. Do that. Wash your ass. That's always good. I'm not saying you're if you're over the Yep, yep, wash your ass. Yeah, that's a big deal, man. Keep yourself clean, keep your clothes clean, get them up out of the laundry room, get the dishes out of your sink. You wanna have your house presentable enough now that in case anybody come knocking on your door. What's up, Darby? How you doing? Darby Jones in the chat. I didn't say lock it up. I didn't say lock up the medicine, put them away, put them in your medicine cabinet. You don't gotta be locked up, just out of the way of little kids. Just out of the way. That's all they look for. You don't gotta be in a lockbox. Just get it out of the way. Don't have them on the sink, don't have them on the kitchen. Thank you, Melissa. I would be contacting that person if I someone in the chat said that ex stole their house by putting the title in their sister's name. I'd be contacting somebody. Don't have them in the toy room. Don't have the medicine in the toy room. Nah, don't do that. That's a bad deal. Refreshing my tea here, fellas. Yeah, don't put it in the toy room. Come on now. We don't want that with the little figurine. Get it out of the way of the little tiny fingers, fellas. Come on now. That's simple. Simple. I'm going to get my scroll out. I'm gonna put me a little more honey. Sometimes it depends on the state law. Someone asked, that's a good question. Someone in the chat wants to know if you are a family and you enjoy the Second Amendment, you know what I mean. But see, if you enjoy that Second Amendment, now you all know what I mean, what I'm talking about. If you enjoy the Second Amendment, keep them locked up. Some states require that you lock them up. And if you do not, that's one of the things these workers will look for. So I'm going to tell you, most of the people that work for DCF or social workers, they're very on the left side of the spectrum. So they will look for those kind of things. You have a Second Amendment, cabinet, keep the damn thing locked up because in some states, it's the law. But not only if it doesn't have to be the law, but if a social worker comes in and sees that, it gives them one more thing to gnaw at you for. So protect yourself. No, it ain't common sense, baby doll. I disagree with that because it's not against the law. You understand what I'm saying? Understand what I'm saying? In the chat, someone said that was common sense to have it locked up. It ain't common sense. And so I'm gotta distinguish this. It could be against the law, even if it's not against the law and the social worker comes in and sees it, that's something they can pick at. And you want to keep these people from picking at you. So even though you might be lawfully justified in having it unlocked, it's not safe. You should always do that. But if it's not the law, you won't be criminally punished. But these people that knock on your door and try to take you chilling, they're going to look at that. They're going just like they're going to look at your dirty dishes. Just like if you've got a dog in the house and it has an accident, they're going to look at that. They're going to look at the dog poopy in your house. They're going to look at your dishes. And if you've got a Second Amendment storage cabinet, lock the damn thing, even if it's not the law. Be smart. Hope that helped. Come on, guys. It's not common sense. Sorry to tell you. Not common sense. A little more tea. Someone in the someone in the chat, someone in the chat wants to know, says the comment is, or the question is, they've been married 20 years. Someone in the chat's been married 20 years. First off, or you've been divorced 20 years. Sorry about that. They were divorced 20 years. So I'm gonna give you a golf clap on the divorce. Give you a little golf clap. If you can't see it and you're listening to my podcast, I'm giving a golf clap. Been divorced 20 years. The question is, should the former spouse have taken their name off the deed? It depends on the way the divorce decree is written. Sometimes lawyers forget to put that in there. But if you had in your agreement that they're supposed to take your name off, or you were supposed to take their name off, you should do that. But most of the time, the agreements are written in such a way that the judge really can't do anything because they're written. The language in a lot of these things are something like this: if it's feasible, if the party makes their best efforts, they should make their best efforts to get the name off the deed or to transfer the title of the car. Making your best efforts is where the argument is. After 20 years, you would think that they would have had your name off the deed. But look at your divorce decree. Look at your decree, see what it says. That's going to be your Bible for a lot of these questions. There you go. That was a good question. Good question, fellas. I'm trying to stir up. Thank you, guys. What's up? Sulfur Love's in the chat. Renee's in the chat. Thank you. Cave Hikes in the chat. We got a lot of people in the chat. Thank you, guys. God, I just sometimes well, thank you for that. Love it. The GIFT. Thank you. Love it. Guys, subscribe if you like what I'm doing. Consider a subscription. I know it's cost you a little bit of scratch, but that's the way I'm able to do what I. Anne Francis, how you doing? That I love that name. What a Catholic name, Anne Francis. Love it. Someone wants to know in the chat. I'm going to get to this question. Someone wants to know in the chat, what behavior does a DA present whenever they don't feel good about a case? How long should it take before they dismiss the case? So this is the number one thing. If there's no action in your case, that's always a good thing. I practiced criminal law. I was a prosecutor for 17 years. I currently still practice criminal law. So my advice is, if you think you were charged, but not indicted, or if you're not charged, but you think you might be, leave it alone. Leave it alone. After a period of time, if you're really worried, get you a lawyer to investigate it. If you want to pay me to do it, I can do that for you. You want to book a call, pay me a little extra, I'll call on your behalf and find out what's going on in your case. But as a general rule, if you're involved in some kind of criminal issue and you think you might get charged, don't go poking your nose around because you might get charged. You might awake that sleeping dog. You ever hear let sleeping dogs lie? Be aware that it could happen, but don't obsess over it. And if you really can't sleep because of it, get somebody involved to give you some information that you need. I can do that for you. I hope that helped. So you've asked that question several times in the chat. Hopefully I answered it. A little extra, Sarah. A little extra, Sarah. You're welcome. What's up, Undertaker? Melissa again. Melissa wants to know, can she do a quick claim deed and get her name off the deed? Melissa, listen. Look at your divorce decree. Generally, to take your name off a deed, you have to refinance. Generally, to get your name off a deed, you got to refinance. That's probably why the other fella did not do it. That's probably why your spouse didn't do it. You've got to be able to refinance, right? You can't just take your name off. You can't just do that. Look at your divorce decree. Get a lawyer involved, Melissa. Sorry, baby. Not Thank you, guys. God, it's been a great morning. You all have been wonderful. I'm going to give you a golf clap. Now, I love giving out my old princess waves. Now, if you're if you're not looking at this on the tube, you won't know what I'm doing. So I just gave out a princess wave, fellas, in case you didn't know. The old princess wave. Sometimes I forget about it. Not everybody gets princess wave. So I'm gonna give everybody a princess wave. If you're on the YT, the FB, yeah, I would get my name off the deed, right? Because what will happen is if that other party's name is not on the deed when you pass away, half of that asset's gonna go to them. Woohoo, love it. Melissa, refinance it, baby, because if his name's still on a deed, if you pass away, it could go to his new wife. part of it could go to some other people. You never know. Get the name off of you. Because if you pass away, there could be other problems. Get it off. Get his name off or her name. Get it off. Get it off. Because, something bad happens. Thank you guys for all of that. I appreciate it. And we are looking at how many minutes? Sorry. We are live. Yeah. Guys, hang around on my TT channel. Hang around for my TT channel. I'm going to sign off of these other two pages, so hang around. All right, fellas, if you're looking in on me from the YT and the FB, it is time for me to go. I've been here enough. You can see what I've done on my podcast, on my YT channel, or on my Spotify. You can download all of those if you go to that paperclip. And you know what I mean by that paperclip. So get that paperclip. Guys, you can subscribe, set your notifications, tell your friends. I'm usually here in the morning. I'm going to try to be here on the YT and the FB and the TT at about 9:30-ish in the morning. So, guys, I'm going to sign off on the YT and the FB. I'm going to be live on the TT. Y'all can follow me over there. I'm going to still hang out on the TT. But right now, guys, listen. If you're looking out at me on those O2 platforms, listen, if life gets tough, oftentimes you get dragged into information, you get dragged into situations that's beyond your control. If your rear end is in a crack, and if you get sideways with the law and you ain't got nowhere to go, nothing to do, and you're tired of carrying it around, you got two options here. You can give me a holler and you can book a call. Guys, until the next time, I will see you. All right, guys, peace out.